The imperative mood in German is used to give commands or requests, depending on the subject and who is addressed. The imperative implies a pronoun, but sometimes it doesn't include any pronoun. Verbs in the imperative do not follow regular conjugations, so pronouns are variously mentioned, which makes the mood simple to understand in German, showing commands and requests. In English, this concept is even simpler because the form of commands is the same as infinitives. Come, eat, go, listen, etc. To form do commands in German, we use the do conjugations for verbs, drop the st ending, and get the verb stem, which makes a command. Sometimes the letter e is also dropped, but it's kept for some verbs. Some examples are geh, mach, warte, lies, sei still. As you can see, some verbs follow the basic form of using the verb stem and dropping st, but others keep e, and some even have an irregular form. Because German has many forms for commands, it's unnecessary to show every single one, so the basic pattern is what matters, while knowing irregular forms can be essential through practice. Moreover, German also has commands using ihr, you all, where the form is the conjugation itself without the pronoun, like kommt, ist. Although it's not as common, it's still important to know, considering that it's only a conjugation. On the other hand, it's also possible to form commands using sie, the formal you. This command will be polite, and it's formed by using the conjugation itself, along with sie directly after it, like sprechen Sie, warten Sie bitte. This command is also simple to remember. Furthermore, German can also form commands using will, the English equivalent of let's. This command follows the same pattern as sie, using the conjugation itself and placing the pronoun directly after it, like gehen wir, essen wir. Previously, I mentioned irregular conjugations, and while they're common in German, some have stem vowel changes, like listen, lies, sein, sei. Even so, some commands will drop an umlaut in the do imperative, like du läufst, lauf. When it comes to reflexive verbs, the reflexive pronoun is placed after the conjugated imperative verb, like setz dich, beeilen Sie sich. To emphasize tone, we can put the words doch or mal, like komm doch her, schau mal. To make a negative command, we can use nicht or kein, which will mainly be at the end of the phrase, like mach das nicht. Nonetheless, the placement of a negative will vary, depending on the subject type. Generally, nicht is placed after the verb, if there is only a verb, or before what's being negated, especially in do commands and reflexive verbs, like mach das nicht, ist das nicht, beeil dich nicht. When using a negative command with ihr, sie, and wir, the same rule applies. Geht nicht weg. Sprech nicht so laut. Machen Sie das nicht. Gehen wir nicht zu weit. Additionally, it's important to know word order in the imperative. Verbs in this mood will come first, considering other elements, like lies das Buch. Gehen wir nach Hause. However, if other elements are used, like bitte, doch, mal, or pronouns, such words typically come after the verb but before other objects, like komm bitte mit, sag es mir. When using verbs with prefixes, they will follow basic separable and inseparable verb rules, like mach das Fenster auf, steh bitte auf, vergiss das nicht, besuch mich mal. At last, it's also possible to find impersonal imperatives or instructions in German recipes, signs, etc. Usually, they use the Sie command or an infinitive, like nicht rauchen, no smoking, Vorgebauch schütteln, shake before use, Tür schließen, close the door. Overall, this is how the imperative mood and commands fully work in German.